This is Binghamton Now on News Radio 1290 WNBF Binghamton and WNBF.com.
Where news breaks first. News Radio 1290 WNBF.
This is News Radio 1290 WNBF News. Mostly sunny today, high near 55. Tonight will be mostly clear, low around 34. Sunshine on Thursday with a high near 60. Construction crews are working on a park improvement in downtown Johnson City. The goal of the Jennison Park Revitalization Project is to create a memorable public space that will celebrate the village's past and future. The site is at the northwest corner of Corliss Avenue and Willow Street. It's located across the street from the building housing the Binghamton University College of Nursing and Health Sciences. Johnson City Mayor Martin Maney said a small amphitheater will be constructed as part of the project. He told WNBF News he expects the Jennison Park improvement job will be completed by next summer. The mayor said the site will be a nice gathering space and a little performing space with some art structures, benches, and lighting, and connective pathways are included in the project plans. Binghamton University is planning to develop a green space to connect the health sciences campus on Corliss Avenue with the Main Street Business District. The university acquired several properties and demolished buildings to clear land for the project. The owner of an 11-unit apartment building, the only structure that remains on this site, has refused to sell his property. According to a memo from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food and Nutrition Service in October, schools in several states are dealing with issues relating to milk supply chain challenges related to packaging issues. According to the website Fast Company, they note the reason isn't entirely clear. The article states that the website Packaging Dive cites issues, stating that it may have to alter orders because its main carton supplier, Pactiv Evergreen, is experiencing major production issues. But that group notes that the problem causing the shortage is still a mystery and can't get answers about exactly what's going on or when business will return to normal. The New York State Education Department, along with the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets, have put in place actions and outreach to support New York's dairy industry and schools during the nationwide shortage of packaging paperboard. Jessica Furman, formerly of Hancock, appeared in Delaware County Court on November 13th and pleaded guilty to grand larceny in the third degree, a Class D felony. Prior to pleading guilty, the defendant admitted that she was the manager of a Dollar General store in Hancock and she became addicted to gambling. The defendant stated that she deposited approximately $41,000 into her personal bank account instead of the store's bank account, with the idea that she would gamble it and then repay the store with the winnings. The defendant lost all the money gambling and Dollar General was out $41,000. Furman was sentenced to 5 years of felony probation supervision and ordered to repay $43,050 to Dollar General within 54 months. Failure to repay that restitution resulted in a violation of probation, which subjects the defendant to a potential state prison sentence of 2 1/3 to 7 years. New York's highest court will hear arguments in a redistricting lawsuit that will shape congressional lines in the state, setting the stage for races that could decide control of the House. The Court of Appeals hearing is today in Buffalo. Democrats are seeking to scrap the state's lines after losing congressional seats last year in a series of upsets that helped cede the House to Republicans. With the Republicans controlling the House by a narrow majority, both parties have placed heavy emphasis on the coming congressional elections in New York and turned the state into an unlikely battleground. The finishing touches are being applied to an event venue in Binghamton. Daniel Seppi said the new business, Celebrations on Park, is expected to open early next year. The banquet center is being developed into a building that most recently had been used as a Knights of Columbus dance hall. The site is at 136 Park Avenue on the south side of Binghamton. The 8,000 square foot building opened as a Harris Food Line supermarket in 1965. The property was acquired by Park Partners Properties, LLC for $150,000 in January of 2021. Seppi and her family have operated ServPro Broome County East for the past 25 years. She said they wanted to develop a project at a site that's very important to the city's south side. The owners of Celebrations on Park have said it will be available for meetings, banquets, birthday parties, showers, weddings, and other events. The facility is expected to be able to accommodate more than 300 people. That's a look at news. For updates on local news, weather, sports, and features, open up the WNBF app and online at WNBF.com. This is News Radio 1290 WNBF.
News Radio 1290 WNBF.
I'm Bob Joseph. This is Binghamton Now for Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. As we take to the air, the phone lines appear to be open. They seem to be in fine condition. 607-772-1290. Feel free to call our program and talk about the issues. And welcome to midday, or midweek. It's actually mid-morning, and this is midweek. Everybody loves Wednesday, because you can buy a chicken sandwich at participating locations on Wednesdays. Oh, my goodness. So, I've had a chance to visit a specific location where something really interesting is going on. I don't want to spoil the surprise at this point, but it's very interesting, so I'm sure we'll have a story about that with some pictures and video coming up at WNBF.com, my favorite local news website, WNBF.com, with some intriguing stories. Stories that I just can't find anywhere else. So I hope you'll check it out today. Of course, stay tuned to WNBF on air at 92.1 FM, 1290 AM, and streaming at WNBF.com. Also available on the fine WNBF app. A fine app it is. Multi-vehicle crash on Interstate 88 West at Exit 2. Oh, my. Apparently there were some injuries. This crash happened, I believe, around 8:40. So it's Interstate 88 West at Exit 2. Apparently several vehicles were going to be in need of a hook. So, if you're heading in that direction, should be cleared up shortly. I think, although I was going to travel out there to see for myself, and then I looked at the clock and said, can't really accomplish that and be here at my appointed time in the studio, so I opted not to go check that out for myself, but I believe there was a report that perhaps one vehicle overturned. I think that was the report, so hopefully people will be okay, and hopefully that won't be a prolonged traffic tie-up. But again, actually, thank you. The sheriff's office did actually include a photo, so thank you. Yes, a vehicle overturned. So it looks, it's the kind of driving, sadly, that's the kind of driving we've come to expect around here. Now, I don't know the particulars. I have a theory, but I don't know the particulars. So I'll withhold my theory at this time. So it's 88 westbound near exit 2 for you people inbound to Parlor City. Parlor City fans may be delayed in their arrival. What else is going on? Oh, speaking of news, we did post a couple of very interesting stories on the website on Tuesday, including the latest on the Johnson City Park projects, Jennison Park. If you want to see some of the work that's been going on over the last week or two, we've been keeping an eye on that project as it gets underway, and details will be found on WNBF.com. We talked with Mayor Martin Maney yesterday about that project. Also, for people who live on Binghamton's south side, a project that's been in the works for a while. It's been a couple of years over at the old Harris Food Line store. The Harris Food Lines. Harris Food Lines. Back in the day. And they had, before they had supermarkets, they had food lines. So that building on Park Avenue is being transitioned or transformed into a banquet center. There should be a nice venue, Celebrations on Park. And I am told by one of the family members working on the project that they should have that open early next year. So we're getting close. I know people have been wondering about the project. We did do a report about it about a year ago. In fact, I'm looking at the first picture I took over there, November 11th, 2022, and that's when the Knights of Columbus sign was posted still, before they put up the new Celebrations on Park sign. So if you want to see what that's about, the story is at WNBF.com. Oh, here's a note. One thing that's interesting is when I report on stories, some people contact me because they're offended. And this is just such a case. Ralph reports, this is by email, regarding the Knights of Columbus Hall. An offended WNBF audience member. So listen to this. I'll read the note verbatim. So this shows you how even when I try to do a positive story, people will be offended. This is the story about the new banquet center on Park Avenue. So of all the things that I thought people would complain about Tuesday, this wasn't one of them. But this is the note from Ralph. Bob, I found your description of the former home of Knights of Columbus Council 206 as a dance hall to be somewhat offensive. The council home may have held a few dances, but it served many other purposes. As the council home, it is where meetings, induction ceremonies, advanced degrees, and many other council functions occurred. It also hosted many wedding receptions, the annual Right to Life dinner, the Halfway to St. Patrick's Day event, bingo, birthday parties, and much more. I'm a former member and now a member of another Knights of Columbus Council, and I just wanted you to know. Well, thanks, Ralph. I knew that. And I'm sorry you were somewhat offended. So in passing, again, in the story, to describe a little bit about the building that'll be the new Celebrations on Park venue, this is the sentence that he found somewhat offensive. The banquet center is being developed in a building that most recently had been used as a Knights of Columbus dance hall. It's the only reference I made. I didn't give a history of everything that happened from the time the Knights of Columbus took over the former Harris Food Line store. It was just what most recently, and trust me, most recently, it had been a dance hall. Take a look. Take a look. For years, the Knights of Columbus advertised dances and other events. So this story was not about the history of the Knights of Columbus on Park Avenue. This story was about a new business. But obviously, as happens so often these days, someone who read one of my stories was disappointed. He found it to be somewhat offensive. So I'll do better. If I do a future story about any Knights of Columbus facility, maybe I'll include a separate piece about the history. I mean, when I do stories, whether it's about a former Knights of Columbus Hall or any other place, usually the story is what's happening now, not what happened for decades with the previous use. But anyway, proving once again that there's no way to please everybody. Strive as we will, it is totally impossible to please everybody. It's 9:20 at WNBF, but I still soldier on, looking forward instead of backwards, hoping to provide the best information possible for people who, of course, will take every opportunity to shoot it down. 92.1 FM, is that true? 1290 AM? Yeah, that's true. WNBF.com, yes. This is Bob Joseph, continuing to ask a few questions, write a few stories, and then wait for the reactions. Because one thing I know, people react. Good news about reactions is it shows that people actually are paying attention to the stories I write. So I guess that's some consolation.
From the Galt Auto Studios, this is WNBF News Radio AM 1290. Also available at 92.1 FM. We sell the ultimate driving machine at Galt BMW.
Providing you with the best solutions of your lifetime. The KSO Insurance Weekly Spotlight with Karen Sweet O'Neill on News Radio 1290 WNBF.
And this segment is sponsored by KSO Insurance Solutions. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Great. How are things?
Very well, thanks. Yeah. Busy.
Oh, yeah. 6 weeks till New Year's Eve till we can see Ryan Seacrest in all his splendor.
Wow. I was just thinking about that. Not.
Leave it to me. Everybody else was happy, and then suddenly they have to think, oh, my gosh, him again? You know, I mean, nothing against him. He does a fine job, but I keep thinking, why not Taylor Swift? Why not somebody who has captured the heart and the imagination of every American?
Well, you know, because you have to have continuity.
Because
people like continuity.
And I think Dick Clark stipulated that Ryan Seacrest has the gig for the rest of his natural life. I think that's part of the contract that was written up, probably.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
I know. I miss Dick Clark. You know, and the other one who I miss is Guy Lombardo.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to play a song, I think it was Take Five. Every New Year's Eve, Guy Lombardo and Dave Brubeck would get together. Yeah, and they would play Take Five, or if time was short, if the guy running the network said we only have a couple of minutes, they played Take Two. And then they had to go to commercials.
There you go, Take Two. Take Five, that was one of my dad's, Dave Brubeck. That was one of his, he liked that. I call it a jingle, but it wasn't a jingle.
No, it was one of the best instrumental songs, I think, in history. And I think I've mentioned this to you before, but when Dave Brubeck performed at the Anderson Center at Binghamton University, it was such a beautiful summer night, and we were enjoying the concert on the lawn lawn seating at Anderson Center, and I was so relaxed and I enjoyed it so much that I fell asleep during take 5 on the lawn. But I loved it. I didn't mean that I was bored. No, it was just, it was idyllic.
What a tribute to him.
Yeah.
He would not have liked that.
Well, I don't know. You know, at first blush, he might say, "Hey, you. Yeah, you.
Hey,
Bobby.
You better play that when we're done.
I will. I'll play that sometime this morning, guaranteed. Anyway, okay. Tell us about some important things people need to keep in mind at this time of year.
Well, you know, it sounds like a broken record because we've talked about it many, many weeks, but it's so important that we have to talk about it again, and that is Medicare open enrollment. It's the time period, October 15th, of which, of course, is passed. This will end on December 7th, and it's for people that are on Medicare to choose their plans going forward starting January 1. And, of course, Medicare has rules and regulations and penalties and all that good stuff, so you really need to pay attention to the timeline. So what we're seeing is we have a vast number, in fact, 52 Medicare Advantage plans that you can choose from in our area, in the Tri-County area. That's a lot of coverage. There are PPOs, HMOs, and PFFs, which are private fee-for-service. Some of them, Bob, have prescription drug coverage, and dare I say most of them do. So you need to pay attention to that, too, because if you choose one of those plans and you think you have prescription drug coverage included and it's not, well, then you're in a little bit of a pickle because the government says even though it's a voluntary program, you will be penalized if you don't have prescription coverage. And most people need it and want it anyway. So it's really important to look at the ins and outs of the different Medicare Advantage plans. Now, if you have a supplemental plan, then what you normally do, or a Medicare Advantage plan without a prescription drug attached, then you do a standalone Medicare Part D prescription drug plan. Now, last year, it was about 19, 20 that were available in our area. It has dropped to 15. That's a pretty big reduction. And people that have existing Medicare Part D prescription plans, if your plan was dropped for 2024, you would have been sent a notice. And unfortunately, not everybody really reads their mail this time of year because they get inundated with so many advertisements. But this is an important annual notice of change that directly affects you if your plan is dropped. And we've seen this over and over again. And people said, oh, I didn't even know that. And that's why we do what we do, so that we can obviously shop what they have or don't have coming in the near future and show them what's available to them and what their best copays and benefits and features of the plans are, including your premium. And a lot of people like these zero premium plans, these Medicare Advantage plans, Bob. And guess what? A lot of them are very good. So we look at all of that kind of coverage as well. You have until December 7th, and so that's right around the corner. We are still taking appointments. We do have a limited amount left. So one of the easiest ways to get an appointment is simply to give us a call. We're at 607-772-4898. You can Google us at KSO Insurance. All our contact information comes up, or simply go to a phone booth. Hey, there aren't any phone booths anymore. Don't go there.
Oh, wouldn't that be funny? I found one. There is one.
Where?
But I won't tell you because then somebody will vandalize it. But there is at least one left in Broome County. Actually, there's more than one, but they're difficult to find. And we don't talk about where they are because bad people might try to put them out of service.
Ah.
See, what my theory is, just to keep it hush-hush. So, again, people can contact you by phone. They could send you a telegram. They can do, smoke signals. Right. Contact, just say, it's easiest just to start with KSO with your smoke signal, and then when you see it, you'll reply.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do our best, Bob. No, we are up on the Parkway, 1708 Vestal Parkway East. We are up around back of Plato's Closet and Style Encore. We are all one level. And again, you can reach us by calling 607-772-4898. And don't wait too much longer because there's not a lot of time left for that.
Karen Sweet O'Neill, thank you so much.
You are very welcome. You have a great rest of the day.
I will. I'm looking forward to the rest of the day. I have some great stories to write.
Perfect.
Oh, you'll be amused. No, you won't be amused. You'll be shocked by one of them and saddened.
Oh. Shocked and saddened. I don't like that combo.
Yeah, but still, I don't mean like it's unexpected, but it'll be somewhat shocking and somewhat bittersweet. But
go play Dave Brubeck.
We'll hear that next hour.
Okay.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Thanks, Bob. You too.
And the previous segment was sponsored by KSO Insurance Solutions. Yes. WNBF.com. A story that may shock some and sadden others. But on the other hand, you could kind of see it coming. So it won't be like, I didn't see that happening. You probably in your heart knew it was going to happen. Well, as it turns out, it is. I know you're saying, what? What do you mean? WNBF.com is your friend. 607-772-1290. This is Bob Joseph. The program is Binghamton Now on WNBF.